Good afternoon. I'm Sue Hamid.
Hi, I'm Colleen Lyle. We're just going to get things started here. So we're going to start with some of the technical stuff that we have to do as people start jumping in on the feed. So I just want to make sure that we've got everybody. There we are. Okay, so we just want to make sure, as people, we've had a few questions sent to us beforehand, so we just want to make sure that everybody can chime in. And no, there isn't something cute and fuzzy. We've just got we've got a computer, and we're just letting people kind of chime in now. We got a few questions that Sue and I got beforehand as well.
Yes. So we'll be addressing those, and thanks to everyone who tuned in for last week's show. We had like over 2,500 views, which was great.
Yeah, and over 5,000 people, reached it. So the first show went pretty well.
Went great. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Just letting people kind of warm up here. Don't hesitate, guys. You can always put in a comment into our Facebook Live feed and jump in at any time. We're here to answer any questions. Today, I think we're going to be focused more on the fact that spring market is coming.
That's right, yeah. So, you want to give it another minute, or should we get started?
I think we can get started. We're probably at about I've got a couple of I've got 201 and I got 157. So we see a couple of people jumping in now, so that's really great. I think we can get started, and let's start, I think, basically with introductions and who we are.
So I'm Sue Hamid, local Ottawa area mortgage broker here.
And I'm Colleen Lyle. I am the team lead for my own real estate team, the Colleen Lyle Real Estate Team, with Keller Williams Integrity.
Excellent. So let's get right into it. We had a question submitted this week, and it seems like it's $1 million question.
It is.
So Colleen, we'll get your input on this since you're a realtor extraordinaire. Buy or sell first? That is what every client wants to know.
It's the chicken or the egg question. I truly believe that everybody, I had that question asked to me, honestly, twice alone today.
Today, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. The answer is, it all depends. It really does. It all depends. So buy or sell first. So it depends really on two particular things that you're looking at. Number one is, first and foremost, what is the house that you need to sell? Is it a large, 3,500 square foot home? Mm-hmm. That needs, that's in an area that may be a little bit slower, or are you an N-unit townhome? Right, in the middle of Stittsville or Canada or Orleans. Mm-hmm. It really depends on particularly what your area is and what your end goal is.
Right.
I think it's really important to know the market, and as well as know when you're ready to go. That you are. We had a discussion today with someone who wasn't sure if they should buy or sell first.
Exactly.
And she was talking about it.
And so she was asking you, by buying first and putting the first refusal on the sale of her home, is that affecting her negotiating ability when she's buying?
Exactly. And to clarify for all of you, so a first refusal is basically, there are many conditions that you definitely should add when you are buying a home. And so from that, you should consider all different options, and one is a first refusal. And what that means is that basically you have to sell your home before you can actually buy a home. I also want to just give out to a few people who are jumping in right now. So welcome to the Ottawa Real Estate Show. So for her, she had a lovely townhome, yet her
dream home
was inaccessible to her.
That's right.
Because they weren't interested in a first refusal clause, which right now in a spring market, a lot of a lot of people aren't.
So I think what I'm hearing is if the current home you're selling is, a townhome in a prime area, you probably want to get it up on the market and sell it first, so you don't have that first refusal condition.
No, right. And so it gives you, without a first refusal clause, it gives you some negotiating room.
For sure.
Now, having said that, without kind of beating that dead horse, the fact is, though, that if you're buying, let's say, an upper end $600,000-$700,000 home, most of us understand that you will probably have a home to sell. That's a certain expectation.
Exactly. Absolutely.
It's one of those things that you need to sit down and really look at your numbers as to where you are right now. Buy or sell first, because let's say you have, no matter what house you have to sell, you have to make sure it's sellable, right? And then and if you buy a home, what happens about carrying two homes? You want to talk about that, Sue, a little bit about the bridge financing and porting? I think that's really important for clients to understand.
Absolutely, and a lot of people don't look into this before they list their home, unfortunately, and then they get caught in a corner where they have a penalty or they couldn't port the mortgage and they didn't know about it. So lots of different scenarios can happen here, lots of variables, but if you buy the home that you're looking for, you have a fantastic realtor that sells your home really quickly, but your closing dates don't match exactly. Yeah. So you are essentially carrying two homes at the same time. So you're moving into the brand new home and you're carrying the other home at the same time, but you need your money from that home to put as a down payment. So that's where bridge financing comes into play. As long as both properties are firm purchases and sale, then the bridge financing is typically not an issue. And
do you want to talk about how much, so if you were to buy, can you give people the average idea of what bridge financing looks like for them in regards to costs?
Yeah, so for example, if your new home closes on March 1st and the sale of your home is March 30th, you have a 30-day window where you don't have the down payment to give the financial institution to close. So what they do is they'll register the bridge on the property that's sold, and it could be for the 5%, the whole down payment. Okay. And it would just be carried over until the sale closes. Once your sale closes, then they'll get their down payment. So it's a really good way that, as you know, closing dates don't always match.
No, and I encourage actually my clients, if you can do it, because it's not expensive, you should bridge for at least 24, 36 hours.
Exactly.
Because you want to make sure that the home that you leave is not only clean, but also that you're not trying to move out of a house and move into a house and have someone else. It just gets a little chaotic.
Especially if you have young kids.
Yes.
Right? Yes.
Yes. We've all been there. We've all been there. But also know that, when you close, you don't always close at 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. or noon.
Very true.
Right? I myself have moved probably way too many times. And there have been times where I'm getting keys at 5 p.m. So imagine if I have to get out of that house that day. So really, it's really important to understand those options and negotiate those kinds of terms initially, or understand them. I think it's more important people understand the penalties. I think a lot of people think that their penalties, they seem to go from one extreme to the other.
For sure, yeah. And penalties depend on the financial institution you're with. So, the big five, we call them the big five banks, they have the least favorable penalty calculation. Okay. So it tends to be, quite a bit larger than with other financial institutions. And I'm sure you've heard from many people that they don't think they can list their home because the penalty is too big. Yeah. But really there's options, and I always give people that I sit with the right advice to go look into, that your mortgage could be portable. Yep. So if you need to sell your home and upsize and you just can't wait for 2 or 3 years for your mortgage term to be up, then the ideal scenario would be to port that mortgage to the next house. Yep. And it's definitely doable. It's just knowing that you have that option is important when you're listing your home for sale.
Absolutely. I think that's really good advice in the fact that I'm hearing the theme time and time again that you need to do some homework and talk to some professionals before we get on the market, right? And thank you again. People are starting to chime in, so welcome to the show. So we're heading into the spring market, and a lot of people are trying to decide, is spring the best time to sell? Right. And
should they list in March? Should they list when the snow melts?
Yep.
It's that constant question that I think you get all the time, right?
I do, and again, it's one of those things that you have to look at your home and figure out what would sell better. You know, there are a couple of homes right now that I have listed exclusively, and it's simply because their backyards are so gorgeous that we really should wait for the snow to melt. There are other homes that I just looking at possibly listing very shortly, and the backyard is so massive that someone could easily go in and see the value of the size of the property,
right,
whether it's landscaped or not. What's more important here is for you to understand it's not all about the spring market, because everybody seems to want to list during the spring market, so your competition is significantly higher. So
it's almost better to get that little bit of an edge sometimes.
Yeah,
right?
there was I was out shopping with some lovely clients who were out in the West End, and they were out shopping this fall, and they couldn't find the house that they wanted because there wasn't any. And so there's some advantages of being that house in the fall. If you have beautiful landscaping and you have beautiful trees, those autumn colors can really show really well.
For sure. Yeah.
So it depends on your property, but don't necessarily think I have to prepare to list all the time in the spring, because again, your competition could be stiff. There is a lot of activity, absolutely. So again, maybe speak to that professional and figure out when's the best time to list your home, because it really does depend probably on your neighborhood as well as your end goals. If you're a retirement home,
exactly,
right, versus an end unit townhome.
Exactly. So the theme I think we're getting at today is that there's no cookie cutter answer.
No, there's absolutely no cookie cutter answer.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that if you've got a very large investment into your home, and
absolutely.
I think pretty much the largest investment that you're ever going to make.
Yeah, most people. Yeah.
So how do we best maximize that investment and make sure that your penalties are not, I think it's really important, because we've all heard the nightmares.
Yes, yeah.
Where they can't close.
There are sometimes insane penalties, $20,000, $30,000. You don't want to lose that. That's money that should be coming to you. Right?
Absolutely.
So, the main points right now, I would say, talk to the professional. Depends on your area, depends on the type of home you're selling, whether you list in the spring, fall, or if you're flexible. Yep. And in regards to the mortgage side of it, looking into the actual nitty-gritty of that 12-page document you signed but didn't read.
Yeah. No one reads it.
Exactly. But looking at that and determining if it's a portable mortgage, what your penalty would be if you were to break it, all of these things can be considered, right?
And I think it's really important to find a mortgage broker who will explain all that, because I think we have very different professions, and yet we like to sit down with our clients and really explain all the paperwork, because that is really what we're supposed to be spending their time and going through it with a fine-tooth comb.
Absolutely. And just giving people advice. Like sometimes I'll let the client know, you better go back to your financial institution and just port it. It'll save you thousands.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's just that advice that we can kind of provide and let them move forward and sell and do what they have to do.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. We're seeing a lot of likes on the screen, so thank you very much. We talked about investments, so what do we do? I get asked all the time, what are the best investments in your home? So the biggest, I'm going to rant for like 1 second. Yeah. So there are those people, kitchens aren't, everybody says it, and it's still true to the case. Kitchens and bathrooms. I'm also going to add flooring.
Yes.
Yet. Let's just have a look at your whole house and figure out what the best investments are, because there's nothing I find crazier than, and I've shown several homes where they have the very 80s kitchen, very in style at the time, but you had the, with the the off-white cabinets with the oak trim as the pull.
Yes.
Yeah. And then you've got this gorgeous quartz counter on top of it.
Yeah, there you go.
So all of what's going to happen in that regard is people are going to go, I'm going to have to hurt the quartz.
Change the cabinet. Yeah.
So I think it's really important. What we do is the fact that before you invest significant money into your house, create that plan.
Sure.
I've got a couple, but we've got some great stagers who walk through the house and figure out the best game plan.
Right.
Because what we can hear is it's all about planning, people. It's all about where's my finances, where's the best time to list, do I need to sell, do I need to buy, and what is my best investment? Because I have seen some great clients of mine, we both worked with them, where they had a big, beautiful home and they had like marble floors.
Yes, yeah.
And
which is very specific taste,
yeah,
right?
and it was, but it was beautiful and just high-end finishes. They knew they weren't going to get their money back.
Right.
And that's always a hard pill to swallow. So
I think there's a fine line between doing renovations that you love for yourself and doing renovations that are going to be marketable to sell the home, right?
And that actually goes, we didn't talk about beforehand when we started the show, if you're buying a home, do your investments properly. We speak to clients all the time about, so what if you do investments and you're going to sell in a year or less? How do they finance that, Sue?
So there's a couple of different options. If you're buying a home and looking at renovating it on the purchase, you can do purchase plus improvements.
Perfect.
So you can integrate the cost of the renovations into the mortgage.
That's
if
good
you're
to know.
In your existing mortgage and you're about to sell, depending on the type of mortgage you have, it can be reworked to add the cost of the renovations in, either through a home equity line of credit or just restructuring the mortgage itself. Or sometimes if it's a very short period, like a 3 to 6 month period, you could always do a second mortgage or unsecured loan if you qualify for it. Yeah.
Okay.
So
it's definitely optional because sometimes you just fall in love with the house. There's just a couple of tweaks that you need to do.
Exactly, which is normal and common. I mean, everybody wants to kind of make the home their own. Right?
Absolutely. So, the last question that we keep on hearing is timing and marketing everything. And I said, I think the ongoing theme is speak to a trusted realtor, to a trusted mortgage broker, and create that plan. Because today I left a listing presentation. They're like, so can we list Tuesday? They weren't quite ready to list Tuesday, but we could definitely get them ready pretty fast. It's better to plan ahead and know where all the money's going to lie, where the best investments are. I know that even we have contractors that we both know,
for sure,
right, that can fix up that shower that doesn't look that great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even do the bath fitter, right? There are certain cosmetic things that at the end of the day put more money back in your pocket, as well as working with professionals who put money in your pocket and keep it there.
Exactly. Yeah, that's
keep
the
it
theme.
there.
Yeah. Well, I think we covered a lot of points, and the main theme was, it all depends on your situation, your location.
Absolutely. Situation and location. I like that.
That's a good one, yeah. So basically, send in your questions for the next live talk show, which will be in 2 weeks from today.
Yeah.
Same time, same place.
Same time, same place. So we are talking, let me just give everybody time to open their calendars there. So in 2 weeks, it will be March 3rd. Okay. So Friday, March 3rd.
Do you think we'll still have snow?
I hope not.
Oh, I know. My fingers crossed.
My mother calls it the 4-letter bad word.
4-letter bad word, yeah.
Yeah,
so
the 4-letter bad word.
Hopefully next time we log in here, there will be no white stuff outside.
I think the next topic as well, we're going to be... we have a lot of people kind of chiming in and suggesting. So, watch for our Facebook page. We'll be posting what our topics will be. And of course, at any point in time, we're here just to answer questions, to engage. We have people chiming in even after the live show is done. And they kind of say, well, what did you think of that? What did you think of that? So, it's hard to say now what the topics are because we've engaged so many people. So I think we'll look at what the feedback is over the next little while. So watch for the post. We also have a big announcement, I would say.
That's right, yeah. By the time it's the next live show, we'll be launching a very, very exciting announcement for everyone.
So definitely, if you're going to tune in at any show, that show is the one where you are going to say, holy cow.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the big one.
You're going to want to buy a house afterwards.
Yes. You will definitely want to buy a house.
That's
So definitely stay tuned. So March 3rd on 2 p.m., we'll meet you back here. Have a great couple of weeks. Enjoy family weekend.
Yes, family day weekend.
Family day weekend. This is the time for us to enjoy the kids, family, and appreciate everybody around us.
That's right.
So, gosh, thank you so much for the likes that have happened today. It's been a great show, actually.
It's been great, yeah. This has been great. We addressed so many key things, and we're looking forward to the next show. Don't forget to send in your questions. Anything you want to see covered, just send us a private message on our page, and we'll be happy to input it into the show.
Absolutely, and we will be rebroadcasting this show not only on our Facebook, but on our personal pages, as well as our business pages, and yeah.
That's right. Perfect.
So thank you everyone for joining us today from Colleen Lyle, real estate broker at KW Integrity.
And Sue Hamid, your local Ottawa area mortgage broker.
See you guys later. Have
Bye.
a great weekend.
Bye-bye.
Bye.